Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You might be asking yourself right now, wait, 423? Well, I've got some things that I'm going to be taking care of. I figured I'd step away from folding clothes. Just got done watching the Braves Phillies game, how that game ended. A lot to digest in that game. I didn't watch the whole game. We got some stuff going on in that game that's going on right now in our own playoffs. First and foremost, before I get into any of the league dialogue, I do want to acknowledge that today is September 11th, and just every year for the duration of our lives, uh, that will be one of, if hopefully the only one that just has the shock and awe. I can remember where I was that day. I believe that I might have actually shared somewhat of that experience with Chris Walker. Um, Chris, when you're watching this, chime in. I know I was in Mr. Karen's math class, and then we were interrupted. uh I can't remember his last name, but Daniel something. And then we went into Miss Griffiths's English class, and we had something to do that day in her class. And when we came in, it was a transition. The bell rang, we had ended Mr. Karen's math, and then we were going into English class, and it was all we were talking about. And we get into the English class, and one of us just turns the TV on, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "You need to understand what's happening right now." And she's like, "Well, we got something to do. You can't just come in and turn the TV on." And we took over that classroom and we shut that woman down, and we watched the entire events unfold. And it was, man, just it's crazy to think about. It really still is. 22 years have gone by. Golly, just to think about, and now I never visited New York prior, but going there now, just the memorial, it's big. It's a big, and what's even crazier now is that our kids, most of us don't have, the a 22-year-old, uh or better yet, one that was like actually in school. But for us, for our generation, we've got kids now that they're learning about this. It's so crazy. It's crazy how, imagine, if you will, we can compare it to, the events of Pearl Harbor, and the trickle down effect. It's like, but even then, it was radio, right? Radio, and they had a very minimal television. It's just, this episode, by the way, is brought to you by Yingling Light. Special one for that day. And yeah, sorry, I got a little emotional on that one. So, all right, take a breath. There we are. Let's move forward. So, here we are. Everybody, if you're asking yourself, what does 23 and 3 mean? Well, 23 games separates Josh from Nick, and 3 games separated Bucketheads from McCullen 25. So that last little bit, man, gonna look back on the season that was. Another thing before I move forward, before I forget, Walker, thank you very much for filling in last week. I actually could have probably done the podcast because we did arrive back in Florida at a very decent hour, but all of us were under the weather. And so uh, Thankfully, we had already set that up, but hey, man, good podcast, dude. I enjoyed every minute of it. You definitely called out mine and Brian's game as the game of the week to watch, and I mean, it was close. There were a lot of categories. I gotta say, the oops of the week, and for me, the oops of the day, the oops of the week. If it's the game of the week, the oops. Maybe that's how I should do the oops. If I give kudos or a watch a game of the week, I then just need to pull the oops from that matchup if if it ends up being the way that it is. But I had one opportunity and I benched Brian Reynolds and Thairo Estrada, and they both hit home runs and they drove in the runs that I would have needed to pull away stats. And then towards Sunday, the batting average in the OPS so close, and I could have I might have been able to turn it around, and but didn't play him on Saturday. I thought they Thyro was going to be out for another day with pink eye, and he comes back, and his vision must have been corrected because he goes back to back Saturday and Sunday and hits a home run, and he ends up helping me out just a little bit, but not enough. I was hoping that he was going to have a perfect day. He went 2 for 2 on Sunday, and I was like, "Let's go, let's get that average, maybe drive in some more runs. Can this happen?" And he ended up going 2 for 5. But you hate, yeah, I hate it. I hate just having to sit there and be like, "Ah, damn it," But again, that's the season that I have to look back on, and so without further ado, I keep looking at myself in this thing, and that's not normally how I do this. I go jump back into the thing. Let's get into it. The stage is set, 23 and 3, 23 wins separated by or 20 a score of 23 because there's not necessarily wins, but bench warmer and Nick drop it like it's five. Both of them gentlemen have earned the right to take a break. And then the other two teams that have not necessarily earned the right, but they're taking a break is myself and Bucketheads, oddly enough. So have a seat. Now, McCollin 25, Fernando, if your performance last week is any indication of what you might be doing this week, you are in for a quick playoff stint, sir. 10-1. I mean, that's what I was looking at. I was like, my God, man, what did I do to earn this? Like, I think I went on a 3-game, 4-game losing streak, something like that. Just, it was not good. Not what you wanted to see at all. But there's something to be said about the consolation prize. I don't think Brian was aware, but I believe everyone else is aware that there is a consolation prize. We had to give a boy or girl little trophy. You tried, because you got to fight for something. There's got to be some sort of inspiration. And despite my best efforts, these yahoos don't want to like give up first place or excuse me, the first draft pick to the team that makes seventh place. I mean, why motivate a team? Why motivate a person to come back and say, "Yeah, I've got the first pick because I was seventh place"? I get it. What are we motivating the person that wins first with, if not anything else? I don't know. Give them the second pick. I don't care. Just motivate me a little bit more, damn it. But, you know, I was hoping not to be in the consolation, but I think I called my shot a couple weeks ago. I knew what was happening. I made some terrible trades. And that's it. That's what I want to ask us bottom tier people. What is it looking back on the season that was? What do you think it was that brought you to where you are or kept you where you are? Jason, I started looking. So I wanted to, I think I've done this before and I wanted to go ahead and do it. And I want to just point out the players in real life that will not be making a fantasy impact for the playoffs. And it really, honestly, there's a lot of talent down here. So we'll start with the number 7 team, which is wait, yeah, number 7 team is Buckethead. And apparently we all get transactions. And I know it's like, I didn't even jump at the opportunity. I'm like, who am I gonna, I have a lot of people that have recently come back from the injured list, but I believe we all have one new move. Correct me if I'm wrong. There we are. There's Brian's team. So, couple of big names from each team that will not be making an appearance in the playoffs. Names like Xander Bogarts, Michael Harris, and Dansby Swanson. Pitchers from Brian's team. Names like Clayton Kershaw, Corbin Burns, and Justin Steele. I didn't know this, but a couple of weeks ago, I heard that Justin Steele is actually in the running for the National League Cy Young Award. That's nut jobs. Myself, let's talk about my team. Some players that will not be making an impact. And these are like, I'm bringing this up because they're like top tier players. Okay. Ozzy Albies, Austin Riley, Francisco Lindor, Randy Arozarena. Not going to be impacting teams. Pitching wise, who the fuck cares on my roster? Maybe, um, if he comes back, because there is talk that he would be actually pitching this game, maybe Kyle Wright. And then as a relief pitcher, Albert Azalea. Hold on one second. Hey, Harley, we're going to karate at 5:15. So need you to go ahead and get dressed. We'll leave here around 5. All right. And do your chores. You'll find that it shouldn't be that difficult for you. All right. Sorry about that. Um, so yeah, I feel like I've got some big time names, and maybe even Mike Trout if he comes back. But Mike Trout will never make the playoffs in real life or in the fantasy world. Let's look at the next team if I can find it. Okay, so Mandalorians. Mandalorians has a really good roster. Feel like of just a plethora of people. Paul Goldschmidt, Gunnar Henderson, Juan Soto, not making a playoff appearance for our league. Pitching wise, Jesus Luzardo, Zach Gallen, not making a playoff impact for a team. This is just, it's crazy to think that like names like this and they're riding the consolation prize. Ray will have Pete Alonso. Wonder where she got him from. Nick Castellanos, George Springer, JD Martinez. Pitchers like uh, possibly John Means. Walker Bueller got shut down, I believe. So he won't be making an impact for the Dodgers. Let's look at next up Jason. Jason's team, Red Sox. Here we go. Red Sox will not be carrying into the playoffs names like Marcus Semien, who's ranked 18th in the league, Alex Bregman, Bo Bichette. I mean, come on. Big time names. Framber Valdez, Jose Barrios. Can't believe it. Cannot believe the names that are just being left behind that will not make an impact. And last but not least, the Hitman Pat's team. Pat's carrying down with him. Names like Cody Bellinger, he had a resurging year. Nolan Arenado, Corey Seager, Aaron Judge. Man alive. Mentioning some of these names with emphasis because these are top tier draft picks. Top tier. Okay. And you would think that at some point they would have been traded to the big time or the top six to try to help projectile you into that. And, or they were meant to try to, or, people just don't trade like I do, or other teams. But a lot of talent down there sitting. Just it's a head scratcher for sure. Put all those players on one team, and I bet we make a difference. Let's all trade our rosters, trade those players, and put them all on one team real quick. Can we do that, Shane? It is what it is now. Let's just do that now, and then we'll see what that one team does. How many stats that team puts up, and let's see the impact they could make. Can we do that real quick? I think we can do it. All right, but you know what? Consolation prize be damned. Mandalorians will face off against Rayford Peaches, and the Hitman will face off against Red Sox Nation with two teams, myself and Bucketheads. We will be taking a little break. We'll be sitting right there with bench warmers and drop it like it's hot, listening or reading all the commentary that is probably going to just be one Shane and Eric. I believe that this is just everybody leave, clear the stage because let's face it, if you don't have players that are going to be contributing this week for any type of competition, honestly, like, why even chime in? Yes, you could chime in. I'm chiming in because I'm the host of this, award-winning podcast, but I'm also chiming in because I'm going to be like, what the fuck? Where the fuck was all this shit to help me get into the top six? Damn it all. But pitching last week for me was a ugh, dumpster fire. Just that Lucas Giolito will never be on my team again. Fuck that guy. Okay? He's dog shit. And now I know why Josh got rid of him. But we have to say the matchup of the week has to be between Shane and Eric. This is going to provide, if anything, just an entertaining dialogue between these two guys. They're good friends. And right now, Shane came out hitting, and Eric's like, hold the phone. I'm coming out hitting too. And it's Braves, Phillies. I saw the 2-run shot that Harper gave up. I did not see the Turner home run. I did not see the Acuna home run. But these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Let's just forget about the catcher. I was looking at okay, do I drop this Francisco Alvarez catcher and pick up one of the other catchers on the waiver wire? Nope. Not making that stupid ass move. What catchers? What have you done for us lately? Not a damn thing. Matt Olson versus Freddie Freeman. This is good. This is like in a fantasy world, this is good. In a baseball world, this is good, but this is good. We got Matt Olson and Freddie Freeman facing off against each other. That's awesome. Trevor Story versus Hyun Kim. Jose Ramirez versus Manny Machado. That's good. Bryson Stott versus Trey Turner. I'm going to give a little bit of the edge to Turner. He's been on fire here lately. And then this is where it gets interesting. Ronald Acuna, Lane Thomas, Lars Nootbaar make up the outfield. Okay, with Luis Robert Jr. All right, that's your outfield right there versus Bryce Harper, Mullins, Chisholm, and Diaz. It looks like these are going to be you guys as starters. Cattell Marte will probably be thrown in the second base spot. He's benched right now. He's playing. And then he's got Stanton, Gorman, Mountcastle, DJ LeMahieu. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good, guys. I'm excited about the week that is, and then pitching. Man, I'm gonna have to give a slight edge to Eric on the pitching. Names like Max Scherzer, Zach Wheeler, Kevin Gosman. Okay, versus Justin Verlander. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, Shane. I don't see it. I don't see where you're gonna get your stability from in terms of pitching. I mean, maybe, but you're going to have to make up some ground, maybe with the lack of pitching that might actually help you in the areas of ERA and whip. I don't know about your double headers. I haven't looked at all that. But Eric got that ass beat last week. That's what we need to. I mean, we could talk a little bit about last week. I mean, the game of the week went as it did. I already talked about that. But Eric, man, got that booty beat by Nick. He destroyed him. If we pull up that, I have to pull up that week. I have to just look at it because we did have something to talk about. So we'll run through the scores real quick, and then we'll just look. There was a huge gap. I mean, it was just everything was one side or the other, and that's how it went. Red Sox Nation beat McCollum 10-1. Mandalorians beat Ray 8-2. Hitman lost to Rally Monkeys 11-1. Drama Like It's Fought beat Eric 9-1. Trippin' Billies 10-2 over Benchwarmers. Choking These Nuts lost to Bucketheads 9-3. There wasn't a close matchup in week 22. You were signed, sealed, and delivered a huge loss at the end of this week. But man alive, Nick put a whooping on you, Eric. 11 home runs, 38 RBI, 12 stolen bases. Woo! Pitching was close. All right. Pitching was close, except for the ERA and the whip. But quality starts, and that's what I'm talking about. That's where not having as many pitchers might help you, Shane. Might help you. But good Lord, he got a home run from Chisholm, Marte, and that was it. 2 home runs. 6 home runs from Jose Altuve. Yordan Alvarez got 3, but everybody else was quiet as the grave, too. Remuto and Lewis got 1. But yeah, he just keeps pulling a rabbit out of his fucking hat, that Nick. Goodness. What about Trippin' Billies and Josh? Man, what a way to have like the last week just really look like a playoff week. Wow, you guys were trading blows for sure. That's what I remember last week. You guys were just jiff after jiff. Holy shit balls. 28 home runs between you guys. Good Lord. Lord of mercy. Goodness. All right. Well, again, the stage is set for 4 of you 6. So let's go back to the league page real quick. How long? Oh, yeah, 22 minutes. All right. Excusez-moi. Come on, damn it. So, anywho, that's got to be the matchup of the week. Trippin' Billies versus Swinging Low. Rally Monkeys, I think we all kind of see the writing on the wall for you, Walker. If anybody had to say anything, I mean, Fernando, good job. But, brother, I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to pull a win out of your hat or rabbit, okay, with names like Zach Geloff, Wilmer Flores, Willie Castro. I mean, this sounds like a Walker-esque team that got you here versus Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., and I'm not even going to say his name because fuck that fat ass. So you guys can figure out who I'm talking about. But yeah, I just, Lord, again, 2 teams that really just like a bunch of names. But again, he's got Will Smith, Vladdy, Tatis. Okay, I'll give him those names. But Fernando, you're nothing without Shohei and the rest of those names. I mean, but hey, you whooped my ass. So there you go. But yeah, Woodruff, Lopez had a crazy week. Chris Sale, Nola. I mean, that's what you can pull this off. I mean, I know I'm giving Walker props that I just really wish I didn't have to give him, but brother, no offense to you, but you're in my spot. You're in my spot. You don't belong there. And it's really going to piss me off for the rest of the season when I watch all my guys on my team just fucking put up the numbers that they should have been putting up. And but it's pitching, man. Pitching. Fuck pitchers. They suck. And then what's even crazier is I'm looking at Eric's team and I'm like, yep, traded him to him, traded him. And again, that's it. That's the narrative of my season. That's how I got where I am. I traded my cousin and he hasn't given me ammo. He didn't give me a ride. He didn't buy my dinner. None of that shit. Okay? So if that Franklin somehow travels from St. Louis back down to here and into that man's house, I I I got problems. I got problems with that guy. So, anyways, that's all I really got. Football season is back, but we're not here to talk about football. Jags get a win. We're not here to talk about football. Baseball, baby. Braves, we already clinched the playoff spot. We're first. We're now 4 games, and we win the division because we beat Philly today. It's a 4-game series. We were up on them by 6. So each win, we knock out 2 games. So, 4 games to get there. If they win, I think it just knocks us back down to 1. So 26 minutes. Trying to think what else there is to talk about. That's it. That's all I got. Hope you guys have a great evening. Be safe out there. A little bit of rain here in the Duval County area. And yeah, that's all I got. Have a good day. Bye bye.